Hello. Hey, Ginzel. Hey, Gladys. No, you're not blocked. Hey, Donnie. Hey, 71. So, hey, Aurora. Donnie, I'm just going to say this, all right? I know you have strong opinions about Mrs. Portland, but a few of you, all right? I'm not trying to single anyone out here. Hey, Sarah. I'm not trying to single anyone out, but a few people were warned over at Sarah's this evening, and when Mrs. Portland was on panel, you should just lay off. All right. It's kind of a respect thing for the person that's running the show. All right. But when Mrs. Portland wasn't up there, people can talk freely. All right. So I am not happy with Mrs. Portland. Okay. Hey, Aurora. So I am not happy with Mrs. Portland, by the way. First thing she did was she was trashing Robbie after all the things that he does for her. That was very disrespectful, by the way. And I kind of ignored that. And Donnie doesn't have to leave. This isn't an echo chamber. So the second time I didn't agree with Mrs. Portland. That just sucks for me, you know. But tonight, Mrs. Portland was pissing me off. Hey, Silva. So, Mrs. Portland, I know you're going to be listening to this on replay or you're watching now. And yes, Sarah, they did reach a truce today, and I'm very happy about that. But her behavior over on your channel got on my nerves. And I'm going to tell everyone why it got on my nerves. She sat there crying all about her, all about what people did to her. Yeah, she did take some responsibility for what she's done in the past, but people don't have to sit there and take her apologies and accept Mrs. Portland. All right? We all know that Mrs. Portland is a very controversial person in this community. Some people can just let what Mrs. Portland says roll off her tongue and not affect them because it comes from Mrs. Portland's mouth. Others, not so much. They just get sick of the wash, rinse, and repeat pattern of Mrs. Portland. And I was shaking my head like for a few minutes of her going on about her child. I had to mute for a few minutes because she was giving me a headache. It was like she was going on the same script over and over and over again. Now, I agree with Nikki. All right. Mrs. Portland is smarter than we people give her credit for. Hey, Dave. She knew enough not to mention Noodle Mash during the stalking order fiasco. She knows when to keep her mouth shut. However, Mrs. Portland decided not to in that situation. And look at where we are today. We have Noodle Mash abusing that order she got. I think that order should have been a two-way street, make it fair, both ways around. But unfortunately, that's not how it worked out for everyone involved. So we have someone that sits there and says, don't do to me, but I can do whatever the fuck I want around here. Well, she gets paid to do it. And then you have Mrs. Portland crying her eyes out when people have an opinion on her. Mrs. Portland, he got you now. Mrs. Portland, if you go up on a panel, if the chat bothers you so much, stop reading the chat. If it's just going to piss you off that much, don't get back up on panel and sit there and cry your ass out because some people don't like you. Because guess what, Mrs. Portland? You earned your sultry reputation on this platform. You earned it all on your own with no help from anyone else. Nobody had a gun to your head and forced you to say the nastiest, most cruel things to people. And now you're complaining, oh, no one likes me. They have something to say. They have an opinion about me I don't like. Do you think I don't have my haters too? I don't care what they think. They can kiss my ass as far as I'm concerned. Do you think I care about what a bunch of real lifers think of me? What a bunch of Karens think? All they can come up with is I beat my mommy's lies that Natasha made up. That's all they can come up with. Because they have absolutely nothing. Yeah, even LMP came into Robbie's chat yesterday. It went with the I beat my mommy. And I told her to fuck right off. Did I go on a crying spree? I just addressed her and that was it. We're sick of hearing it, Mrs. Portland. All right? Oh yeah, absolutely. She's an idiot. And she expects me not to say anything, sit there and But I'm not going to sit there and cry for weeks about it. No, I understand Mrs. Portland has her disabilities. But that's no excuse not to hold her feet to the fire. Do we give everyone with a disability get out of jail free card on here? When they do something? It's getting to be ridiculous. It's I'm just shaking my head. And Sarah was gracious enough to start a live just for Mrs. Portland so she can respond. And so Nikki could go up and talk to her. And Mrs. Portland couldn't even respect that. Why? Because Nikki didn't was going to end her live stream. So she decided to do it over at Sarah's instead. That was disrespectful to Sarah, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree with you, Gladys. We shouldn't be talking about Mrs. Portland's kid either, or her sister. It's a standard that we shouldn't be doing at all. The only time when someone's kid or relative is fair game on here is when they're on this platform with their relative. So if they come on a live stream, such as Natasha's daughter, two daughters, they come on and use Natasha's channel, then they become fair game. But other than that, they shouldn't even be targets. So, and that applies to Mrs. Portland too. So, yeah, I feel bad too, Silva, but she shouldn't be crying about it each and every time. We know it's wrong, but thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much for that. It was just a mess. And then you had, I'm just going to say this, Sarah. Then you had a few people that decided to come in there today over from Natasha's that thought, oh, I'm going to come in and troll towards the end. They thought they had no mod, that Sarah has no mods. Cripe sakes. So, let's get down to what happened at Nikki's tonight. All right. So Nikki mentioned it for just 2 minutes. All right. I'm the reason why there's a truce between Sarah and Nikki. All right. I did message Nikki, and I did talk some sense into her and Sarah. Because guess what? I didn't see them two fighting as productive. What was it going to accomplish? Nothing. Zilch. Nada. Do you think being a friend to Sarah a friend was going to let her embarrass herself. Same thing with Nikki. So I arrange a truce between the two of them. And I want to mention you, Gladys, all right? I'm not trying to offend you in any way. But I talked to Nikki earlier or yesterday. And she gave me special instructions on how she wanted things done. All right. And she wants she wants no one to really mention Sarah in a derogatory manner on her channel anymore. The fighting's gonna stop. All right. They won't be restreaming each other anymore. This whole thing is gonna stop. I try to be of service, Ginzel. Okay, Gladys, let me just explain this. All right. Okay. So, tonight, when people were disrespecting Nikki's chat, when Sarah was going up there, it was supposed to, they were supposed to work things out between them two. Okay. And it got quite emotional in the chat. Now, I wasn't going to sit there and me and Scotty weren't going to sit there and ban people. All right. We all understand how Nikki is. She is not an echo chamber. All right. My channel is not an echo chamber either. Okay. I like to let people say what they want, even if they disagree with me, as long as they're respectful. But when the concept is, if you have a panel guest, we shouldn't have subs. Okay? We shouldn't have subs disrespecting the channel owner by dragging their guest. Okay? It disrespects us. It disrespects the person that comes on panel. So if someone wants to come and take a link, are they going to think twice if subs are going to get dragged in someone's chat while they're up there? Think about that for a moment. Especially when two people are trying to work out their differences on panel. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm sorry, Sarah, this may offend you. All right. I'm going to be blunt, as I'm usually am on here. Was Sarah tonight totally polite and respectful? No. Okay. But Sarah is Sarah. Okay. You got to get to know her. Okay. Does she say things that are nasty sometimes? Yeah. Does she say things that you don't mean? Absolutely. Okay. Does she go off sometimes? Yeah. This whole thing, in my opinion, was a misunderstanding between the two of them. Okay. I didn't want it to escalate, especially when I see someone like Space Monster over there trying to milk it for all it's worth. So, Tracy, guess what finger I'm holding up? So, if you thought that you can escalate a drama or a fight between two people, fuck you. It didn't work. Hi, Divergent. Fuck you, Tracy. All right? We're a little smarter over here. We don't fight for very long, and we try to work out our differences. Yeah, it is a mess, Aurora. A big mess that was being worked out tonight. Supposed to be worked out yesterday, but Nikki decided to go over at Robbie's last night instead. And I decided to join in last night over at Robbie's panel, and we just me, Nikki, and Robbie were laughing and joking around, and I actually had fun last night. So, hmm, you got a good hypothetical there, Enchanted. But they should at least tone it down a little bit, Enchanted. But she is a scammy piece of shit, Enchanted. Natasha is a scamming piece of shit. Because I remember, let me just go down memory lane with you, Enchanted. All right. I remember one time that Natasha went over to Amber's and took a link, and everyone was, and then Amber was telling everyone, tone it down, be respectful. She's only going to be here for 10 minutes, 15 minutes to give her side of something. And then you can go up, then you can go run your mouths. Well, got you now. Let's just say this. If Tiffany is live reporting everything, she can go fuck herself. All right. I don't really care. What for what? She gets everything wrong and then she projects her insecurities onto me. Oh yeah, that's Amy too. She decides, oh, because she gets things everything wrong that she ever told me. And then she says, oh, Bill gets everything wrong. Really? No, that's you two. That's Amy and Tiffany that get everything wrong in this community. And then they like to blame it all on me. Say, oh, Bill gets everything wrong. No, I don't get everything wrong. Damn. So that's kind of hard enchanted. That's kind of it's kind of that's kind of difficult. You know, we all know that Natasha's pretty scummy. All right, but at least you can zip it for a few minutes and talk about something else in the chat. Or ask a question that's like, okay, where did the money go or something? You could be passive aggressive like that. Yeah, you got a good point there, 71. You could say I got a scam phone call. You know, it's because when Natasha came that one time to Amber's, I just kept my mouth shut until she left. Then I let Natasha have it. You know, I think she was only up there. She was up there for less than 10 minutes, lying her ass off, of course. You think I take anything Natasha says seriously? Fuck no. Especially when she gets she gets a so-called email from someone just claiming I beat my mommy with no proof. And then she broadcasts it on her live stream. And then calls me the P word along with a few other people. And I debunked that 1, 2, 3, and she's shivering in her boots. Yeah. That must suck, doesn't it, Natasha? So I'm sorry if people didn't understand what was going on tonight. What was going on tonight were two people on panel trying to work things out. Now, what I saw tonight in Nikki's chat were people screaming at Sarah. Okay. That's what I saw tonight. And I gave a fair warning. Please stop. Okay, 71. She's already been done on here. It's just okay, really fried. All right. But I gave people warnings. Please stop. Let's just let them two work it out. Because them two fighting doesn't benefit us in any way. We're not like Space Monster where they strive to have people fighting all the time. Yeah, a bunch of hateful biddies, Sarah. Bunch of hateful biddies. And it wasn't because Sarah, it may have sounded like Sarah was asking people to be timed out. It wasn't because Sarah ordered us to. All right? Please get that straight. Okay? Even Nikki was timing people out. in the chat a few times because the comments were too much. So I'm glad. So I'm going to just say this. All right. I'm glad that Nikki went over to Sarah's tonight. I'm just very disappointed on the way Mrs. Portland acted this evening. I thought it was going to be a quick live. Okay, good night, Gladys. I thought it was going to be a quick live. Sarah and Mrs. Portland go on panel. Mrs. Portland gives her say about what happened tonight, and that would be it. But it didn't turn out that way, did it? It turned into Mrs. Portland turned it into a cry fest. I know nothing about that. Got you now. I have no clue of what's going on with that. If someone would like to fill me in. Yeah, you're pretty right, Enchanted, on that. Define too much from what I see in all channels. That bar is pretty low. You have a point there, all right? But usually the standard I use is an opinion is when you're respectful and you argue based on the facts in a chat like you are, Enchanted. What you're doing is you're giving your opinion and you're making an argument with it. If you agree with me or someone else in chat or not. But if someone comes into chat and says F you with a bunch of other nasty names towards me or someone in chat, they're either gonna get timed out or banned. That's what I saw tonight from some people. I'm not going to mention their names and they're being pretty passive aggressive. All right. Don't have to give names. All right. You know who you are. If the shoe fits, this message is for you. Now, tomorrow is going to be another day. All right. Tomorrow's going to be another day. I hope we can move on from this. I'm just very disappointed in what happened. But I am glad that Mrs. Portland made peace with Robbie or called a truce. I'm glad that Sarah and Nikki worked things out or called a truce. And those are the two positive things that happened tonight. All right. Though that was the goal. We don't want to sit here picking a fight with every single person. We don't want to sit there backstabbing everyone. You go on this side of the community, you look at one of our mod chats, and we're not sitting there plotting and scheming or scamming people. Yeah, that's what I'm asking, Aurora. I'm asking people to look at the bigger picture. Our mod chats or our group chats or whatever, we're not in there scamming. We're not in there plotting people's demises. We're not doing all this shady shit for the most part. Yeah, you'll see links to other channels. Oh, did you see this? Did you see that? Oh, how you doing today? Oh, this is what happened, or this is what happened on this channel. That's all. But if you go over to someone like Amy or Tiffany, all you're going to see, okay, is doxes. You're going to see plotting to go real life on people. That's what you see over there. Okay? So if you have someone like Spacey, okay, decided to try to take advantage of two people having a disagreement over shit. She tried to interfere. Says, "Oh, Sarah's fighting with Nikki." And then she rubs her two hands together and says, "Let me take advantage of this. Let me try to stir the pot." Not knowing that it's only going to last a day or two. Nobody's abusing Mrs. Portland. Oh, come on. Is Natasha, are you serious? Nobody's using her as a weapon either. Damn, are they stupid? Natasha, you need a brain transplant, honey. Because the one you got isn't doing you any good. All right? Because the only thing you know how to do is the shady shit. You probably know so much about abuse because that's all you know how to do to others, isn't it, Natasha? And Aurora's right. Mrs. Portland was there of her own free will. No one had a gun to her head. The very nasty comments that were in chat tonight were deleted in Sarah's chat. So the trolls weren't being allowed in. And so, how are we abusing Mrs. Portland, Natasha? You know? Yeah, Natasha has no content. 71. Natasha has no content because she has to restream everyone else. And then you have Jax, who wants to be Natasha's girlfriend. Oops, did I say boyfriend or never mind. That don't really matter anyway. Does it? It wasn't, Sarah. That's the point. And Tiffany on panel, gaslighting and lying, that's no surprise to me. And your stream, Sarah, wasn't abusing Mrs. Portland, all right? Now, Mrs. Portland getting upset about the so-called comments in your chat. Yeah. And Mrs. Portland, you were given a wrench by Sarah, okay? You were given a wrench, and all you could do was ban the people that you don't like, okay? And that's not why you were given a wrench, Mrs. Portland. Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. I totally understood why you had that stream tonight to begin with. And in my opinion, all right, this is just my opinion. I think Mrs. Portland abused it. She abused her wrench tonight because guess what? She wasn't acting in your best interest. She was acting in hers. So she's seen a few people she doesn't like or has an issue with, and she banned them. And at the time, they weren't doing much of anything wrong, but they escalated it after they were unbanned. Okay, but Mrs. Portland kept banning people that shouldn't have been, in my opinion, Wyoming's opinion, another person's opinion. So we were sitting there unbanning people that shouldn't have been banned when they weren't a known troll. They weren't really saying anything that bad. They just didn't like Mrs. Portland. Oh yeah, Enchanted. The green card dates. Yeah. The only people that want Natasha are people applying for green cards. Yeah, I get those emails too. I'm Enchanted. Every so often, I'll get a message on the dating app from Russia, Pakistan, or whatever country, saying, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" I know those are green card applications. You know, but Natasha's so stupid, she don't realize it. That her marriage proposals are from people wanting to get into the U.S. But hey, some people like them big, fat, and round, don't they? Oh yeah, you just type Natasha's name in Divergent, and you get page upon page of videos with receipts. It's just amazing how that works. You know, it's not like people made their minds about her over nothing. They just watched her scamming, watched her do this, watched her do that, and everything. Oh yeah, Enchanted. I watch those videos where how they do it, and it's like, wow, people fell for this crap. And Natasha makes so much money, according to her, all right, that she couldn't even get Mrs. Portland a lawyer when she had the so-called court. She wouldn't even pay for it, and that shows you something, doesn't it? She wouldn't pay for Mrs. Portland to get a lawyer. Okay. Now I don't think Mrs. Portland at the time would have got the money because she doesn't appreciate damn jack shit. Okay. She burns things in her fireplace. Goodbye lichen coloring book. Takes some of the gifts she got to Goodwill. You know. So people just ain't gonna sit there and give her money. But Natasha just could have just paid the lawyer up front and not given Mrs. Portland's any money. Okay. That's just common sense. But Mrs. Portland didn't even get a so Mrs. Portland. Just so you know, I'm not happy with you right now. All right. It'll probably take me a few days to be able to look at you again. Okay. After the way you behaved tonight. But oh yeah, absolutely enchanted. A $20,000 lawyer fund was supposed to be used for NC subs being harassed. Mrs. P was a part of the NC community at the time. Absolutely enchanted. You're 100% right. I almost forgot about that. But did Mrs. Portland get a lawyer? Nope. Scam alert. Scam alert. So that should tell you I make everything clear, Aurora. I don't hate Mrs. Portland, but she gets on my nerves sometimes. All right? She gets on my damn nerves. Especially when she gets mad at people and starts lying about them. I'm going to get up here and I'm going to correct it. If she behaves like a buffoon, I'm going to call her damn ass out. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and make live after live beating a dead horse. Okay? Like someone else in this community that only talks about Mrs. P. Or the few people that oh, that's right. She talks about Cole. She talks about X. Talks about Debbie. We all know who I'm talking about, right? I don't have to mention her name anymore. I just it's just getting to the point. Mm-hmm. And then she had the nerve, Divergent. Then she had the nerve to call Lycan a cult. Excuse me. That might be a little bit of projection from her. Because if you leave her community, then she goes after you. Hey, slow JP. If you leave Natasha's community, then she goes after your ass. And then she punishes you, and it's like, yeah. I would never give Mrs. Portland a wrench. All right. I would never give Mrs. Portland a wrench. There are some people I would never give one to. And there are some people I would never let on a panel. Let me just leave it at that. So, yeah. So, Natasha, I'm just reminding everyone that Natasha had her $20,000 legal fund and she couldn't help one person out. So, that was a scam. Now we have this. So, at least I accomplished something. All right. We got a truce going between Darling, Nikki, and Sarah. Some of it had to be it was a little rough at first tonight, but it worked out during the night. Okay. I'm not saying they're going to be, I don't know what the future holds with this. I don't know if they're going to be the best of friends or they're just going to agree to disagree. But at least we have two less people going at each other's throats. All right. So, and then Sarah decided to be a and then we had Mrs. Portland making it all about herself, disrespected Sarah and her entire chat tonight. Abused her wrench given to her. Made the chat all about her. Went on panel. Made it all about her. The usual wash, rinse, and repeat pattern. So I'm just going to repeat what I said to Mrs. Portland. If she doesn't like what the chat says, just don't watch the chat. I don't think Sarah's channel is an echo chamber either. She doesn't run one. Okay. So, I just wanted to come live tonight and just tell everyone what happened and why people were getting timed out over at Nikki's. If anyone got timed out, they can come back tomorrow. It will be regular programming as usual. Okay. We just needed Sarah and Nikki to work things out. So there's no more, there's one less fight to deal with. All right. So, anyone have any questions before we go? We'll just we'll just wait a second, a minute or so. Anyone got a question or concern? Okay, Enchanted. Yeah, abusing a wrench is a betrayal of someone's trust they gave you, and it speaks more about their character. Okay, yeah. Sarah, come on here. I think you went to the deep end with that. I'll just say that. All right. I think you should have just went to Nikki in person or whatever and said, "Hey, what's up with that?" But what's done is done, and you have a tendency sometimes, Sarah, to do things sometimes without thinking. But you're good. You're good at heart, Sarah, you know? So, yeah, okay. So I just wanted to see if anyone had any questions. So, I'm going to thank everyone for coming tonight and hit the thumbs up and please let's stop the fighting, all right? Especially among ourselves. We don't want to give the swamp more things to. So, I'll see everyone tomorrow.